Well, bonjour and comment allez-vous? Je vais très bien. And we welcome all of you to We Talk. We're glad that you're here because we know that you could have been anywhere else, but you decided to spend your afternoon with us, and we certainly love you and appreciate it, okay? All right. Paola, how are you? Gomez, how are you? Raglan and Jay White, what's happening? All right, all right. We're glad to see everybody's here. Listen, we had a great discussion last week. We kind of read off our topic. That's why we're bringing it to you this week. We started talking about what love is and whether or not it is a choice or whether or not it is a feeling. Now, if you missed it, I would highly encourage you to go check it out. Please check it out because there's a lot of good information that we share. All right? But in our usual fashion, hey Ed, what's happening? All right, if you've been here before, you know the first thing we do, we toast up because we want to celebrate you every time we get on this live. It's not about us, it's all about all of you. Hey Anthony, hey Hernandez, we want to celebrate all of you because we think that you're special, and despite anything that you're going through, just believe me, you're going to get through it. All right? So here's to everybody on the line. Now, we're going to get into this right away because it's a very good discussion. Our discussion tonight is, as we had scheduled last week, is what is the difference between fear and respect in a relationship? What is the difference between fear and respect in a relationship? And can a relationship survive if fear is involved with it? Now listen, everybody's going to say, oh, we know what the obvious answer is. But I'm going to tell you, that's not how the human heart works. We've got a lot of people who are involved in relationships for the wrong reasons. And some of them, it's not because of their own doing. It's their circumstances. So we're going to talk about it. Let me bring my co-host on. Okay. Hey, Miss O'Neill, how are you?
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Now,
Because I
listen.
want to be on camera. Listen, I want to be on camera when I tell y'all this. Now, y'all know I got to shout my babies out. Now, she called me auntie. I ain't know how to take that because I want to say, wait a minute. I went and checked myself and looked in the mirror to see if I really looked old like an auntie. But I just want to tell y'all because she's one of our constant viewers and she could participates in conversation. But baby, y'all gotta go listen to Callie Alexandria's single on Spotify called Over, because baby, when it's over, it's over. And it was the vocals are all by Callie, but it was produced by let me see, because I've heard of him before. I've heard of the person before, but Irvani Townsend. Baby, go listen to it, because baby, when it's over, it's over. So I just want to tell her shout outs, baby, and I'm waiting on my tickets. I ain't forget that.
So you promoting Cali, huh?
Baby, it's out there. It's out there because I'm in that point in my life when it was over, it was over. But I was trying to hold on.
Cali is my girl. You know that's my second daughter. Right?
But my thing is, she has actually stepped into her artistry all on her own, and gained her own identity separate from Bliss, because she was with Bliss to start out with Lex and Pinky and things like that. But I am so proud of her because she has stepped into her own right as a solo artist. So, and if y'all know, if you're in music and entertainment, because I've been in it for some time, haven't dabbled in there in a while, other than with my own son, who y'all see me promoting on my page. But it's kind of hard sometimes to step away and be a soloist when you're connected to such power. So I just want to give her shout outs as a woman in her own right. So we not gonna mention that. We shouting out to her right now, cause baby, that Over right there, it's on Spotify. It's out right now, y'all. So I want y'all to go hit it up, go to her page and visit. And I also share it to my page and my TikTok and YouTube and everything, cause y'all know I'm all over the place. But anyway,
I'm
done.
gonna check it out. But Callie, if you on here, I'm
Go
mad
check it
at
out.
you because you supposed to send it to me first and let me kind of give you my opinion on it.
She didn't send it to me though.
I don't care. I'm saying before she puts it out, I'm
Listen,
like,
don't be jealous because Auntie got in before Papa.
look, I'm bad now. Look, and she know I'm supposed to preview all of that stuff to make sure it's nice and clean, make sure it don't distort imaging and all of that stuff.
Well,
But
guess
she know
what?
I'm-
It's guess what? Guess what? It's awesome. So I just thought that it would be fitting for me to promote her as we're talking about
Okay.
this topic, because we gotta know, baby, when it's over, when we need to stay there, when we regardless of the circumstance. So it don't matter if it take you 20 years to say it's over, but you just gotta know it's over. I'm just saying.
that is true. Hey Keith, what's happening? You see Miss O'Neill, she on one today, man.
That's Sister DeJoya, man. I fall back and let her do her thing. You know what I'm saying? She over there spitting right now. Like she had something on her heart. She had to get it off her chest. You know what I'm saying? So hey, do your thing.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them kids be saying now, what's that word? It was fire.
Oh yeah,
It's fire.
Hey, but Callie ain't no joke, and
He's saying it too proper. Hold up, Mr. G. He's saying it too proper. He got the northern thing that's talking about it was fire. No, you don't say it like that. You say it was fire. And you gotta look like that.
It was fire down there. Yeah, we
Yeah.
fire down there. Yeah.
That
fire.
fire. Okay, now go ahead.
Yeah,
on,
there
go
we
ahead.
go. I sound right how I'm supposed to
But
sound. It's fire. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, you gotta get that.
That's that
Southern
northern
twang.
southern accent. That's that northern
Yeah.
southern accent. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fire.
Hey Miss MS, how you doing? But anyway, since we're talking about that, now I'm telling y'all know I've been in music a long time, and we've got 3 projects to include Keith's nephew, and I'm telling you, if you don't know about Akil Bay, I'm telling you, we're getting ready to launch something that's going to be, as Miss O'Neill would say, fire. And I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, the military. Oh yeah, the Semper Fi
man.
joint. Yeah. You figured that one out.
Man.
You figured that one out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Semper
Hey,
Fi. Yeah.
every song on there is nothing but fire. And
I done
I'm telling
came
you,
on with the whole video concept, and it's not fire, it's fire.
It's fire.
Okay, fine.
Like you know what I'm
Fine.
saying? Like it ain't 50 Cent. It's 50. You know what I mean? 50. You know what I mean? Yeah, 50.
Fire.
So no, but that Akil's joints is definitely fire. And yeah, we about to preview some stuff coming up for that. My nephew too coming. Yeah. We got some hitters over here, baby. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And it's going to surprise a lot of people because just like Callie been silently working in the background as Keith's nephew and Akil too. But I'm telling you, when you come out that basement and you know it's smoking, only thing you can do is keep you a jug of a cold water with you, because it's gonna get hot when we release this thing. And we're doing the video concept and all that. So everybody's in the family. We're about to shop
Yeah.
a whole bunch of people, man.
And you know what's crazy? Me and you were talking about T.I. and Grand Hustle recently,
Right.
and T.I. dropped a new album last week.
Oh yeah.
King.
Oh yeah. And matter of fact, Akil used to work over there for a minute, but all that's old news. That was some 20 years ago. So now, man, I'll tell you,
He out of this. Leave he out of this.
Mr. G, you sound real excited though. Like I can tell you got your energy on that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, brother. I'll tell you because I'm a music connoisseur and I listen to a lot of music. And there are artists that I try to like, but then because I'm so critical when it comes to the musicianship and the delivery and all of those things,
Cadence, all that, yeah.
yeah, it's hard for me to gravitate to someone. But when I heard that, when he sent to me, he said, "Look, OG, I ain't even gonna say that. Check your inbox." And he said, "Okay." I checked it, and I'm like, man, I hurry up and hung up and got off that music. I had to call him back.
Yeah. You saw how quick I called you back, right? Me and my nephew when you sent it to me, like, oh yeah,
Oh
Mr.
yeah.
G, nah, it's something there, like, and that's what
Oh
people
yeah.
don't understand real quick, and you understand this too, DeJoy. Hip hop is a different genre, so a lot of these cats be sounding the same. So when you have a hip hop artist that actually sounds different, and Akil can sing too. I didn't know he could sing.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
so when we're listening to this, I'm like, he can sing and rap. He's like, okay. I said, yeah, him. Yeah, I said, okay. I said, I understand. It's just about now, like you positioning it. That's all. Yep.
Yeah, he's an anomaly with it right now. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure the timing and everything is right in the packaging. And Callie, you know what I do, so you better call me.
I'm gonna go check Callie's thing out too. She popped up on my thing too, talking about a new single. So I know I would assume it's probably on other platforms other than Spotify, but I got Spotify, but I mainly listen to my music through Apple. But either way, I'm gonna check Callie out. I did see her single or whatever post up, and I remember you told me about Callie through
Right,
Bliss.
right.
Yeah, so
I
yeah.
knew she was coming, but I didn't know she's already got it cooked up. But
Oh,
I
she
guess
understood the
Well,
assignment.
she released it, I think, Mr. G. When I saw
Yeah,
it
it's on
posted, she released it.
Spotify.
Yeah, it's released. Yeah.
yeah. That's what DeJoya was just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, people, just be on the lookout, and remember, you heard it here first. So when you start hearing all this good music, know where you got it from first, and that's right here on We Talk. All right. But anyway, hey, look, I got one question before we get started. I know we've been rambling on about the music and whatnot, but you know, it's all family, so we're gonna always show them love and we respect them and we know that they're great artists. But listen, I got a question about etiquette now, and the reason I'm asking is because this happened to me. If one of your friends buy you a gift, in this case, it was a bottle of very expensive cognac, right? Now, he came from out of town, right? And we got together at another mutual friend's house. But when we got there, he said, hey, Mr. G, this is for you, right? And I looked at it. He gave me all the details on it and the, you know, where it came from and all that. And I mean, it was some very good cognac. My question is this. So we all, you know, of course, we do the cordial thing. We shared the bottle with everybody that was there. It's about 6 of us. Now, here's my question. And I know DeJoya, she gonna have some, she gonna turn it into something. But I'm gonna find out the right answer. I already know the right answer, but I want to hear the opinions of you all. So I shared it. And again, it's a very expensive, it's not in the thousands, but it was a couple $100. Now, there was a half a bottle left. Is the proper etiquette to leave it? Or should I take that? Should I have taken that with me?
Hell no, you take. Oh, okay, I'm calm back.
Calm down now. I'm asking. It was a gift to me.
Let me just say, if you, it's different. Like when you come into a gathering and you know you bring in your whatever. But if you come in and you with your boys and you be like, hey y'all, I want y'all to try this or whatever. I bought this. They bought
No,
this.
I didn't buy it. Someone bought it.
But that's what but this is what I'm saying. But you talking about it, so you bring hey, you know, I want y'all to try this, or you allow them. It's not ghetto to take that back. But now if you had bought some Hennessy or something like, you know, something else and you bought it and whatever, and it wasn't that high price stuff, cause see, I've learned I don't do things for people to get the same thing in return. But I've learned throughout my 40 something years, because you know when you're young you really don't get that. But I've learned that people will latch on to you for the good things and because they know you like nice things and whatever. But the same things you give to them, not to say they got to give you the same nice thing, but they wouldn't do the same thing. So it's certain things I'm gonna leave with you, but it's certain things I'm gonna take back with me. I'm just saying.
Keith, what do you think, man?
I'm just saying.
I hear what you're saying. Hey,
I don't care
Run
what
that.
you
I'm gonna
say.
say this to you. Run that question to me again so I can answer it right after you say it. Go ahead, run it again.
All right. Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
A very close friend of mine
Right.
bought me a very expensive bottle of cognac.
Louis the 13th. Mm-hmm.
So we didn't meet at my house. We met at another mutual friend's house.
Okay.
He came from out of town and we all met up there.
Right.
You understand?
Mhm.
All right. But when we got there, you know, he had little things for everybody. He had something for everybody, whatever they like. That's just the way we do.
Okay.
So, and he gave me the bottle.
Right.
Very, very good. And so we shared all of the drinks. We
Right.
shared all of the drinks that we had.
Right.
But my question is, since we're at someone else's house when he gave it to me,
Right.
I shared it.
Right.
The rest of the bottle, do I leave there or do I take with me?
If he specifically gifted it to you and you shared it with everybody, you take it with you.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But let me tell y'all what the proper etiquette is.
Now let me tell you something. That just like damn Dr. Spargus be wrong about these children, they
No,
wrong.
what I'm saying, let me clarify this.
If it's a
hold
specialty
on.
gift,
Yeah.
No. Hold on, DeJoy. Listen, let me clarify this. If he specifically gifted every person there, if I'm understanding you correctly, with whatever they like,
Right.
is that what you said, right?
That's
So that
right.
means at your mutual friend's house, he brought you what you like and whoever else was there, which would mean that whatever else everybody brought after you share it, those other people will be able to take what he brought for them with them. But obviously, maybe there's a different angle
boy,
to
you
this.
better
So you
put
go
that
ahead.
special expensive bottle in your purse.
No. Listen, no, here's what I'm saying. No, listen, enjoy it. No, listen, what I'm saying is this. If
Hey,
I come to an
Logan.
event and I bring something, whatever it is, liquor, food, drinks, and all the above, when I leave, what I brought stays with the event because I didn't bring it for me, right? I brought it for the event, right? But no, listen. If I come with a case of Heineken to the cookout, why I'm going to take what's left with me? No, I'm leaving it. I brought it for the event, right? So what I'm clarifying is that the only reason I answered it differently is because Mr. G said every single person got gifted what they liked.
Right.
He didn't say his guy came and brought the yak for the event. If he brought the yak for the event, that yak stays there at the event at the person's house. So now guess what? That person get to drink the rest of the shots after everybody leave. That's all I'm saying. But if you brought
So, now
everybody a
let me-
specific thing, that's a little different to me. But go ahead, Mr. G, break it down.
Hell nah. I got my purse. I'm gonna put it in my purse because he bought
Nah.
it especially for me. Because I just said he bought it.
Oh, well, he brought it for you.
him.
Right. I'm agreeing
He
with
gave
you.
it especially for him. So
Right.
you were nice and you did the proper etiquette and you shared it to everybody. But no,
I hear what you're saying, and those are your
Oh,
feelings, and
yeah.
that's why we want.
he left
But
it, y'all.
let
Shit.
me tell you what the proper etiquette is.
Who said that though? Was it
It's
black or white?
universal. It's universal.
They lied.
Hey, Apple user, how are you?
I know
Hey,
what you about to
JW. Hey, Mito, and James. Listen, here we go. If they bring it to you and y'all meet up at a certain location at someone's house, right? It specifically talks about someone's house. That house is the host at that particular time.
But
So
the host
if-
gave it to you.
Listen,
Ooh,
listen.
I'm glad- They must not be black.
listen. We're talking about what's right, what's wrong, and proper.
Yeah, he's basically going to say what I was saying about
It's
you
the
bringing
white-
and leaving.
That's
Go
some.
ahead.
That's some John.
Let him finish, enjoy it. No, let him finish. I just
Listen,
wanted to clarify what I was saying, but I understand what he's saying. Go ahead, Mr. G, finish it.
So if he brings it to you, you meet at a social gathering at someone else's home. Then all the refreshments that were bought there becomes the refreshments of that host. So
Right.
the proper thing to do is to leave the bottle there. Now it's different if you did not open it. If you did not open that bottle and you're taking it with you as a good gift or a souvenir, then you take it with you. But once you share that bottle, once you share that that food, it becomes the host. It's their property then. I don't want to say property, but the
Who
proper
wrote
thing
this
to do,
book?
the proper thing to do is to leave it. I
Who
never
wrote
take
this?
anything that I bring. If I bring it,
Where you get this from? Cause
That's what I was talking about.
you
See,
got a
that's what.
bad
Hold on,
habit
hold on,
of
hold on.
googling stuff, coming up with all
No, no.
these things. Where you get this from? So
No. Listen, hold on. No, hold on,
I'm sharing
DeJoya.
this information for our audience so they
Yeah.
understand.
See, me and Mr. G were saying similarly the same things. I
Right.
just separated. Someone brought it to you, but when you separate it and say you brought it to the host's house in that case, and you shared it, I got it. I'm
That
not
makes
gonna.
a big
I'm not
difference.
gonna. I'm
he
not
wrote
gonna
it or the
debate that.
host gave it to you.
No. When he asked the question, he said, if you bring something to somebody, he laid it out. I was saying, if you gifted each person their own stuff, right? I'm just saying each person got what they like. So they shared it, they take it with them. But over the overall overarching thing he's saying is what I said in the beginning is if I bring something to an event, I don't take it because it's for the event, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I understand what you're saying, Mr. G. I agree.
So
That's
the proper
ain't
etiquette.
proper.
No, I
Listen,
agree. I agree with what he's saying. I didn't look at it the same way until he explained it the way he's saying. But overall, my thing is this: if you bring something to an event to add value, because you never come empty-handed, you never take it back when you leave.
Listen, if my thing, I'm saying specifically because everybody was gifted their specialty. I get that. But I'm just saying, like he said that the bottle was given to him and he shared it. And due to the expensive amount that the gift costs, I don't think I'm just saying I don't know, because y'all know that I just ain't proper.
well, listen, I'm giving you the proper etiquette. And the rule is this. If you bring me a gift and we're meeting at a mutual friend's house, right? I'm not talking about a shirt or something like that. I'm talking
Y'all
about
better give me my gift at the car.
listen, something that can be shared at the host location. If you give me a gift and I take that bottle of yak and I take it into the party, well, he's going to deliver it to me at the party because we all meet at the party and he's on the gathering and he gives everybody their gifts. If I would have kept it sealed and taken it as a gift or, what do you call it, a souvenir or whatever, a keepsake or whatever, then it's proper to take it home. Once you share it at the host location, then it's improper for you to take it back with you. You don't open it and let everybody drink and then get it. That's ghetto. That's that hood mentality. And then you take it back to your house because it's special to you or not. If it was special, then you don't open it at that time.
Especially if you leave before everybody else leaves. So, it's like taking my ball. Okay, I lost. I'm taking my ball home. What you mean? We can't continue the next game. What you talking about? Yeah.
So nobody else can play now. You know what I mean? And that holds true. So the proper etiquette, everybody on the line, if you take something to someone's home and you are among mutual friends, or if you're at that host location, you're supposed to leave whatever it is. I hate it when people
No, I know that, but when you said everybody was
You didn't say
gifted their special thing, I did say that.
But I put that in there because I knew it would evoke some conversation. Everybody had their special thing. I didn't say whether or not everybody opened it or not. If they open theirs, then it stays. If I would have kept mine sealed and taken it to my car when I told the host to put it up because I want to take it with me, then it's proper to take. But you cannot take it. Listen. How does it look for you to go to someone's home where you are invited guests? You have a mutual friend that brings in because they're coming from out of town and they bring everybody a gift. If you got a cake and you cut that cake and you taste it, you're going to seal it up and say, "Oh, I ain't giving nobody any of the cake." No, that's not how it goes. That's not proper etiquette when you are cultured. Well, if you hood and ghetto, you know, you gonna anything you like, you gonna tuck it.
But I'm just saying that's just how I feel. If it was gifted to you and you done, like I said, we can agree to disagree on this, and you done shared it and whatever. If you choose to say, hey, you know, and I would ask, hey, anybody else want some of these? Do you mind if I take it with me? You know, I'm not gonna pick it up and assume that okay, I'm gonna take it, but I'm just playing devil's advocate to that. Now
No,
you know
you're
every
missing
time
the
we don't
point.
we don't
You're
bring
Nah,
missing
something.
my
Mr. G,
point.
Mr. G, he does these things to create and provoke these
Yeah, but I'm just saying that
conversations.
you know
Absolutely.
we've been to several things, and no matter how much it costs, you know we do we leave it,
Okay,
you know,
okay,
because
listen,
we've
but
done things. But I'm
follow
just
this
saying,
angle, DeJoya. You're very flexible, which you are, and I think, okay, I said what I said, and I was on the same page with you based on the information we both got from Mr. G, right? Now he added another variable to it. He said you were gifted it and you opened it and you're sharing it with the people at the event at the host house. So there's no limit on how many shots we're going to pour. There's no limit on what we're going to do. And now if I add that liquor to the other liquor that's there, somebody else might come in. If I leave, let's say I'm usually not the first person to leave. I'm kind of the last person to leave. But anyway, so other people going to come in and they might want shots of that, or they might want this. So what he's saying is once it's presented to the whole, it doesn't matter that it was gifted to you because you chose to open it and share it. You don't take it with you. But that's in line with what I said when I said, if I bring a case of beer to your event, I don't care if we only drink 6 beers out of the 24.
listen,
I'm leaving the
get it.
18 because
As I
that,
said,
and guess
I
what?
get
If you a
it.
host,
I
you're going
get
to drink that shit up tomorrow.
As I
Hey,
said,
look,
I get. Listen, as I said, I get it. We have bought stuff and left it, you know, because we be like, damn, that was this, that we left. So I understand that, but I'm just saying, I'm just the devil's advocate to that because there are people that don't know, and if you don't want to leave that expensive gift, all jokes aside, now y'all, because y'all know he always gonna add some shamalama ding dong stuff to something. But all jokes aside. If it's too much money for you to spend and you don't want to leave it, then don't leave it. Because as I said, everybody might not have your standards or your
but
taste or whatever.
listen,
So just
Georgia,
don't
I'm
don't
not
do
talking
it.
about. Listen. I'm not talking about you buying anything. I'm
No,
saying
I
that.
know. No. I'm saying just period. What I'm saying is that if you can't leave it and do those things, and I said all jokes aside, because y'all know I'm just a joker anyway. But all jokes aside, if you feel like it's too expensive to be left at the host home, or if you that kind of person and you don't want to share nothing to do nothing, then don't go, because he's right. It is proper to it's proper to leave it. And
Because when we talk about social engagements, right? There's a protocol that people expect everybody to adhere to.
right, but you
And
know
if you
we know somebody that was doing that. Everything we have, and they
the
come,
reason, and
know,
that's one of
yeah,
the reasons I brought
right,
it up,
yeah,
because
yeah,
when it happened to me, of course, I wasn't going to take the bottle anyway, because all of these are my friends, and
right,
we all shared each other's bottle, even though I don't drink anything else. But that's understood. The bottom line is that if it comes to the host's house, it's improper etiquette. I don't care if it costs $1 million. If
then
you
just leave
open
it.
it, you're supposed to leave it. Because listen, how do you feel? Listen, I know, and I've been to functions that weren't so high scale.
When it was happening to us, you know what, we was all looking like, what the hell going on? You know what I'm saying? But some people,
That's
and
why I say that.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah,
say that. Because how do you feel when someone comes to the party and they bring something? And let's say that you enjoy whatever they bring.
right,
And you wait for them because you know they can cook, or you know whatever, right? And as soon as and like Keith said, what if they leave early? You might want some more. You ain't supposed to pack up your pots and your pans, and you're supposed to get disposable dishes and pans and those things
yeah.
anyway, or something that you don't mind leaving, and then
Guess
you
what,
just be
y'all?
on your merry
Look,
way.
and you know what
Huh?
I'm talking about. We knew somebody that did the whole thing, and when I tell y'all they packed up dishes, and am I lying? We can't say
Well,
no
then,
name.
all right, now listen, hey
They
Keith,
packed
now
up
listen,
everything,
Keith. Now you remember when
everything,
I opened the discussion?
Yeah, go ahead.
everything.
What did she say? She said you take it, right?
She said you
But
take it.
I
Right?
said, y'all know I'm always gonna go against y'all anyway. I did.
No, I
say
agree
all
with her though.
jokes.
I gotta
Yeah,
ride
I
with her on
did
this
say
one.
all.
I agreed with her in the
Yeah,
beginning, and I said
yeah.
take it based on
And
that.
I
I
did
agree
say
with you.
all jokes aside,
Yeah.
though, it's not right to do. So if it's something that you feel like it's too expensive for you to leave or whatever, then I just wouldn't leave it. I just wouldn't buy it, So that's why I
But
say
they gave
that.
it to you. You keep saying buy. They gave it to you.
Right, I was just
No,
going
I'm
to say,
talking
when you
about.
give somebody something, what you mean it's too
No,
expensive to give them? I don't
what
understand
I'm
that.
saying is that if you feel like it's too expensive for you to want to walk away from or leave or whatever, or even if they gave to you,
You should have never bought it to
then you
start with.
shouldn't have never bought it
Yeah.
and put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
he
that
said.
is, but listen, you're mixing oranges with apples. I'm saying someone gifted you something. Some of
Even
these
if they
people
gifted it, you shouldn't have bought. I'm saying, I said, I just
No.
No. What it's
Listen.
very clear. What he's saying is this: if I come to an event and I give everybody something, and then that person, in this case, Mr. G, decides I'm gonna crack this bottle of Louis, and I'm sharing it with my guys right now,
opened it,
right?
Yes. Yes.
So now he decided, as the person that was gifted the actual gift,
to share.
that he's going to share it now. So what he's saying is, if we're sharing it with the group, how am I going to leave and then take my bottle? I can't take my bottle now because the other people shared their stuff, right? So if everybody's sharing, that means everybody's supposed to leave it.
But look, Keith, even if they didn't share it, the principle is this. If you are at the host's house and you're gifted something at that particular location, now again, this guy came from Boston to Atlanta to visit, and we had people come from different other places. Majority of them were already here in Atlanta. So he bought us these gifts, and we were at one of our mutual friends' home. If they leave their gift intact and they don't open it, then they can take it with them. If I open it, or if everybody opens it, then it becomes community or host property. It becomes property of the event. So you don't get up and say, "Hey man, with my bottle." That's not good. That's not being cultured. That's not how.
Okay, well, y'all done gave me too many hot flashes. I've been having hot flashes all day, and I just
Because I know how I would feel. I know how I would feel if I go to a location and I see someone bring something. We're all there for 30 minutes or so, and we're having fun. We're having conversations, and then let's say that they happen to leave early, and I see them go in the kitchen and start gathering up all their chicken. That ain't how you're supposed to do it. That's hood. That ain't culture. That ain't being debonair. That's
I agree. That's ghetto.
They're
That's
gonna
ghetto.
talk now. I done got a hot flash
ghetto
now.
as hell.
My hair starting to
Okay,
roll
we
up.
gotta move on. Hey, Frederick, what's happening?
That's
Hey,
ghetto as hell, right? You brought the chicken,
yeah.
and the chicken's for the whole event, and you say, "All right, well, I ate one breast, but there's 15 left, so I'm taking the other 14."
Right.
What you
That's
mean you
crazy.
taking the 14 breasts left? What you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
Okay,
V-Dates, how are you? Shorty, what's happening?
Now come
All
on,
right.
y'all.
Tamika, how are you, sweetheart? Good to see you
Lord have
again.
mercy. He done
All right,
added
let's
Shamalama
get
Ding
on.
Dong and everything.
I knew that would be a very interesting conversation because a lot of people from the hood are the people who are not as cultured as others. If they bring something expensive, they want to take it with them. And I'm saying don't even bring it if you got to take it, or don't even purchase it for any of your friends if you have the expectation of taking it with you. That's not good decor. It's not good etiquette. Simple as that. All right. Now, man, that was a good. Joy, I don't know why you got to out argue, fuss, and fight all the time.
You always ask some Shamalama damn Ding Dong or something. Shoot.
Whatever that means. All right, let's get on with it. What is the difference between fear and respect in a relationship? And can a relationship survive if fear is involved? That's a good question. I know a lot of people going to say, "Oh, it's obvious." No, it's not obvious because if it were, a lot of people wouldn't be in the circumstances that they're in. Respect is rooted in admiration, trust, and valuing another person. When we respect our partners, we listen to them. What?
I ain't saying nothing. I just thought you was finna go on with the LL Cool J song. Go ahead on.
No, we listen to them, we consider their feelings, and honor boundaries because we care about them and the relationship. We care about them and the relationship. Fear, y'all hear me out. Fear is rooted in anxiety and the anticipation of negative consequences. So when you have fear involved in your relationship, there's always the anticipation of a negative consequence. When we fear our partner, we may stay silent, hide our thoughts, or comply with their wishes because we're worried about their reaction. Have mercy. How many people have been involved with those type of relationships? That's not a thing of respect. See, because of the machoism, because of egotistical ways people look at things, they look at it as fear when I can control. And that's not the same as respect. When someone fears you, they don't respect you.
They don't love you either.
You got that right.
And the
They
person
don't
that's
love
causing
you.
it doesn't. They don't love you.
But you as I know, we know people who are involved with relationships where they're ruled by fear, where they're ruled by control.
I take
All
that
right?
back. You, the person that's going through the process, you love them because you think that's what love does. But the person that's causing the rift does not truly love you. They don't.
Agreed. Agreed. Hey, Gerda, how are you? All right, listen. A simple way to distinguish the two is respect will always say, I value your opinion. If somebody respects you, they will value your opinion. Fear will say, I'm afraid of what will happen if I disagree. That's what fear does. You're afraid because you don't know what the outcome is going to be, but you always know it's going to be some negative consequences. That's why you think that way. Respect encourages honesty. Fear discourages honesty. Respect creates closeness. And check this out. Fear creates distance. What's up, Cersei? How are you? Do y'all agree with that?
I mean,
Fear?
go ahead, Key. I'm gonna let you go ahead because I had my woman perspective.
All
Like,
right, fear creates distance because the natural reaction to everything and your response to everything is not natural and authentic. It's based on whether you're going to receive or face consequences for having a different perspective. Life is about everyone having a different perspective, right? So people who are in relationships of fear, they're actually not comfortable with expressing their perspective because if their perspective upsets their partner, whatever that fear may be is why it's driven. So you're actually not getting the real person. You're getting the person that's putting up a barrier or a wall and they're going to agree with you when it's convenient. They're never going to disagree with you, right? And even though they don't disagree with you, they're still not agreeing with you. They're choosing to just say whatever you say. That's not healthy long term. And a person who's living in that can get stuck in that matrix forever. Go ahead, DeJoy.
and here we go, because y'all know we talked about this in another manner before.
Right.
But I mean, let me get myself together with this right here because it hits home for me. So from the time my oldest son, who's 34 now, up until the time my youngest son turned 13 or 14, I was in that.
Hey, don't get on here and get all sentimental.
So,
Just
well,
tell
I'm
your
about to
story.
tell you something though. I was in that because I didn't know. No, I'm just saying I was in that because I was, I ain't standing by. You ain't finna get me riled up in here with this shouting on my ding dong stuff today. But I was in that because I didn't know the difference. I thought fearing or doing everything he asked or trying to do everything he asked or trying to do everything that I thought would make it right and for him to see me. Um I thought that was him, making him love me or would make him love me. And I thought that, eventually I could do enough. And so like I would do enough. And for 30 something years, from the time I was 15 years old up until the time I was 43 years old, I lived like that. I mean, I was scared to step outside of any routine that he knew because I was going to get dinged for that. I was scared to say anything. I was scared to give opinion because I was told at some point, when you get in my car, don't say a effing thing to me because you were mad at me for something that happened the morning before or 3 days before, or somebody rubbed you wrong at work and you said you thought about something that I did. So, I mean, it's hard for somebody who doesn't know love or who was broken already coming out of family situations and into that, because when you get in those situations you're running from something or you need to be saved from something, and usually it's yourself because you're the one that runs to the person that's going to hurt you more because you thinking they saving you but they not, and they already know you're broken. And I have yet to fully recover. And when people go through these things, they say they recover, and you could say you recovered all day, but there's little things that may happen to you or a song that may come on and it triggers everything. So you actually never recover from the thing of not giving the respect and not knowing the difference between respect and fear, being loved and not loved, being used or this and that. So I mean, you never fully recover. People always think it's women, but even for men, there's things that trigger those things and you never fully recover. You might be healed, it might be a band-aid over it, and it might be somebody that comes along and they fix those pieces and show you how it should be. But that poison, that shit it's always there. Seriously, it's always there. So, that's
Well,
just my take on that right there.
I know it's real, the joy, and people go
Yeah.
through it. So, and see,
Yeah, they
here's
do.
the dilemma that most people are in. When you're in that kind of situation, other people on the outside, if they know the other person, because here's the part that people don't pay attention to. There are two sides to almost anybody that has a controlling persona or really doesn't know how to love. So you got other people who are trying to give you advice based on a persona that's been presented to them. All they see is this. Oh, he's always nice. He always helps me. He always does this, or he or she, or whoever, or they do this. But when them doors close, or when you're not in the public eye, that's where that other individual
But
shows up.
but listen, it gets to the point because you don't realize where the dividing line is. It ain't even behind closed doors. That's what I'm telling you. It gets to the point where it's beyond huh?
I'm not gonna argue with you,
Yeah,
but
it
I
gets to
don't know.
the point when they do it when you out. So the saying now when everybody say I'm outside, it gets to that point where they do it when you outside. So the person that's doing it, they are so bold because they've already cowered you down, they've already beaten you, they've already broken you and abused you and things like that, mentally, physically. Even went through that. Um, verbally, you know what I'm saying? So it happens more than when you behind closed doors because you don't
Oh yeah,
understand how to
that's
stop
what
it.
it is.
And then you understand, like if they say, oh, you walk, and you thinking you dress and you out and you whatever, oh, that must be your nigga right there. You looking at him. And y'all know I'm cross-eyed as hell. So I know if some of us out there, you be like, what's wrong? When you see that? You know what I'm saying? To yourself. And you start questioning yourself. You start questioning your sanity. You start questioning your worth. You start questioning everything because when you don't correct it and there's not somebody else there fighting for you, the person feel like, well, shoot, I can just do this to you whenever. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
So don't just say behind closed doors because baby they throw them, they fling them doors open like Dynasty used to do when Diane Carroll used to come in there to slap the Jesus out of Alexis. Them doors fling open like with a bang. I'm just saying.
Hey Eddie. Hey Twitter thing. Hey Ari. And who else is that? Lisa and Lopeza. How are you all? And we're glad to have you. Hey, listen, yeah, that's true. And I hate it for anybody that has to go through that because people recover at different points in time and some people never recover. So I hate when people are being abused, taken advantage of. Anybody that knows me, that's one of my pet peeves. That's why I really, it really gets next to me. And, I ain't gonna talk about it. That's just how I feel about it. We all know when fear is present, when violence is involved. That's easy to observe. When someone is being physically abused and violated, we can easily see that. But what are the other signs? What are the other signs of fear? Fear can exist in a relationship without any physical violence. And I think that's probably more detrimental than physical violence. I don't condone either one, but when you mentally and emotionally attack someone and make them feel less than, degrade their self-esteem, that's very, very hard to deal with, you know.
It
So
is, and it's bad on the, and I'm just jumping in, as you go through the points. It is, and it's hard on the other person because when you were in if you were in a situation like you be adding your shamalama ding dong tonight, if you're in a situation and you haven't been loved or you that's what you're needing and that's what you want and then you get in a situation and you're given that when you finally get that is it's not enough for you because you feel like at one point because you have been through what you went through it's gonna run out or maybe I'm not loving them enough or they don't love me enough because of this it's never it's and there when you have those days or those flashbacks when you revisit or whatever they call it, deja vu or whatever. When you have those days, and that doesn't mean it happens to you every day, but when you do have those days, the love that you're given from the person that that your safe person, I call them, it's not enough. It's never enough, and they don't understand, and they'll say, well, don't you understand this, and don't you understand that I this and I that. But because that bruise is there, like they say, when you have scars left, the scar is always there. The sore might have healed, the cut might have closed, but the scar is always there. So it's like sometimes when you happen to look at that scar and you can remember what things happen, like when you were a kid, for instance, when you fall off a bike, you got that feeling. You remember that's when I was riding that new BMX dirt bike and I slipped. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that you feel the physical hurt all over again, but mentally sometimes you got to be like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? So
right, I understand.
that's what it's like. So when you never when you have those days and this is mostly for people that have been mentally done this way and physically either way mentally physically and verbally when you have those days and you happen to look at that scar and you might see a band-aid or something and you go back there So at sometimes in your life when you suffering or when you're going through something else, it's not gonna ever be enough from the person that has come to love you, and they should, maybe that should be communicated to them so that they would understand. So when you have any days, they can just understand that this is where we are today. You know what I'm saying? So if that makes sense.
All right. Well, I agree. That makes a lot of sense. But so fear can exist in a relationship without any physical violence. It often shows up through emotional, psychological, financial, or social pressure. Signs that show fear may be operating in a relationship are not limited, but they include these things. One partner avoids expressing themselves, their opinions, because they're afraid of the criticism, the anger, the ridicule, or the rejection. One partner avoids expressing their opinions because they're afraid of the criticism, anger, ridicule, or rejection that may come with it. Now, they constantly walk on eggshells. Man, I cannot live that way. They constantly walk on eggshells, and I know people, so don't think because it hasn't happened to me that I don't know about it, because I know people who live that way. You know. So when you're constantly walking on eggshells, you're afraid to express yourself, and you're carefully monitoring what you do or say. That's no way to live. You are carefully monitoring everything you say. How many times you heard people say, well, no, I ain't gonna tell him that. Oh, I better not say this. I better not say that. That's when you're monitoring what you do or say because you are afraid of those repercussions. Sometimes they even hide things that they purchase. They hide their conversations. Some things that they want to talk about, they don't talk about them. And they hide activities to avoid a negative reaction. They feel anxious. Now, how many can identify with this? When you are in a relationship that involves fear, they feel anxious when their partner calls, texts, or even comes home about the house. I used to date this girl who was just getting out of a relationship many, many years ago. And I'm telling you, that's when the cell phones first came out. They were about as big as a house phone, Nokias or whatever they were called. And every time that phone rang, I mean, you could see in her eyes that she was in fear. It seemed like she was in fear of her life. But it's amazing to me how people really stay in those kind of relationships. But I understand it because not everybody has an access to get out. They don't have an exit. So they have to stay, especially when that individual is the breadwinner, when that individual has stripped them of all the financials and they have presented it to them as though you don't have to worry about nothing, baby. I'm going to make sure I take care of all the bills. And that sounds good to someone who doesn't have anything else to sustain themselves. But what they don't look at, what happens if this thing goes south and I decide to leave? Now you're totally dependent on one individual. I never want anyone to be totally dependent on me because I don't want that kind of control. I believe in individualism. I believe everybody has free will. I believe everybody has their own likes and dislikes. So whatever that may be, they have an inevitable right that says that I'm free to be who I want to be.
But there's a difference though. There's a difference in being totally, and I'm not, when I say dependent or totally dependent, there's a difference in having significant other or a partner in your life that you know if you have to totally depend on them or this and that, you're not gonna have repercussions, not gonna be rubbed in your face, you're not gonna be threatened, I'm gonna turn this out. So there's a difference in that.
Right.
But
I'm not saying
but
it's all
yeah,
the same, Miss O'Neill. I'm just saying we're talking about people who rule with fear in their
yeah.
relationship.
So so I'll take that any day. I take that any day. I took that over where I was in life. So I don't even look at it now because I'm in a different place in my life. I'm in a different place in love, and Lord knows I didn't even want to pick the pieces up. I said, you ain't got to fix me. Hell, let's find some new pieces. Okay, let's whatever. So there's and I'm not saying you not saying that. I'm just speaking from a woman's perspective or breaking it down in a different way. So if you ever do find that person, if you are in that situation that you have somebody, hey, I can take care of the bills, all this, all that, because in the process of him helping you and taking care of you that way and loving you correctly is what I'm saying, and taking care of you wholeheartedly correctly, you will learn to take care of yourself because he gonna teach you that. That'll be the man that, they say you can't keep giving a man a fish, can't keep giving a man a fish, teach him how to fish. Same as with women, because when you find that person that loves you correctly, that teaches you correctly, that helps you correctly so that you submit correctly, you're going to learn because you have no choice. That's a whole different, there's a whole different perspective on that, because the things that I didn't know or the things that I fear and that shit, you can't tell me nothing. Like I said, I got them pans, you know what I mean? And, I'm just saying, I ain't afraid to use them, and I'm not afraid to tell him like, hey, where I was afraid to say, hey, this and this happened to me, or this person did this to me, and then having it turned around and said it was my fault because of what I had on, or what I had on, or what I said, or I looked at them. Versus, let me go tell Sugar that right now. Let me go say, hey, somebody did this to me or whatever, because, he has a thing. I can look in your eyes and tell you this. I never had that luxury before. The person, I guess, I think he didn't even want to look at me other than when he thought somebody else was looking at me, So there's such a difference in that from a woman's perspective, y'all. I'm just saying, yeah.
Oh yeah. But oh yeah, so I agree, and yeah, that happens, DeJoya. That happens all the time. The other dynamic is this: the partner who's in control, they use threats of abandonment. You know how they say, "Hey, look here, I'm gone," right? I don't want nothing else to do with knowing that they are told that you are totally dependent on them, and not you don't necessarily have to be totally dependent, but it has to have enough financial responsibility that they shoulder, and it makes a difference in your life. And because if they should leave, then you don't have that cushion anymore, right? Are they threatened with divorce? Are they
That's Cairo
withhold?
Kamai.
Yeah, yeah. You can hear?
Yes, that's Cairo, I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, they threaten with divorce. They threaten by withholding affection or financial consequences just to get their way. That's when people are controlling you, when they hold those things just to get their way. The other partner always apologizes excessively, even when they have done nothing wrong. Man, now it's a reality that we live in, but there are some people who are subservient to other people, and even if they haven't done anything wrong, to keep the peace, they will apologize.
And they explain a lot too. They never get past that. I gotta explain everything, or I gotta.
Yeah. Hey, but listen, everybody will know how big I am on keeping my peace. That ain't what I mean. I ain't mean apologizing for something I ain't do just to keep peace. If you did something wrong, hey, we're going to square up. We're going to figure this out, and we're going to talk about it. And if you don't want to talk, trust me, I ain't going to be there too much longer, because I know that's going to interfere with my overall well-being. And I think if a lot of people, first of all, they have to work around being in a bad situation and set themselves up. I'll pray to God that they meet someone that can help them get up out of that abyss and start living their life instead of just existing. So they apologize excessively. Decisions are made primarily to avoid conflict rather than through mutual agreement. So you're going to make a decision just because you don't want to argue. Because you've got, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, in some cases when you're in those kind of predicaments, you have to do it that way. But the one that's controlling the whole relationship, if they require that, then you know that they don't really love you. Because anytime there's love, you remember, part of that definition from the beginning is there's a mutual respect for each other. There's a value for the other person.
My heart used to be beating so hard through my chest. You know how to, I think it was that, and Keith is the bookie here, I think it was a telltale heart when they talk about that heart that was beating or something. And, and like, when you hear the stethoscope, when you go to the doctor and they listen to the stethoscope and you hear that boom, boom. My heart literally used to be beating so hard I could hear my own heart, okay? Just because I wanted to say, well, can we go? Can we go sit there? Can we go to eat? Well, we didn't go. We went to go eat. We went to go get something to eat, but we didn't sit down to eat. We would go to the movies, but it was to the drive-in movie, So if I said something and if I did something within that time, like where we would be driving to go before we got to the movie, it was a silent conversation, and my heart would be beating so hard. Sometimes I used to think my heart was literally gonna bust. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, and until you find something different, or until you start analyzing these things, like we talking about it now, and there's probably somebody out there, if they listening, I hope so, you'll start analyzing it, and then you realize like this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? So, and I mean that literally. Like I used to could hear my own heartbeat, y'all.
Crazy.
So I mean, and like I said, until I saw different, and if you scared, I mean, I know it be a
just
joke.
say you're scared. That's all.
No, because shit, no. I mean, excuse me, Lord, Jesus, I wasn't supposed to be cussing today. That ain't that. Because literally, if I say I'm scared, or I tell, they be joking around there on Facebook talking about this is the sign of being afraid, or whatever that dumb stuff they be doing. Man, I wish I might have somebody walked up to him and said something. I wouldn't be all right, because he'd have yelled my brain. You know what I'm saying? Literally.
Oh, yeah.
So all I'm saying is that, that's crazy. And when I think about things now, where I was, where I'm going, where I am, and where I want to go, or where I'm going, like I think that's crazy. But I still allow some of those things to hinder me from being where I'm really supposed to be. Not because I want them to, but as I said, it's just like a Band-Aid. You just rip that stuff off sometimes, and it's like, here we go again, But I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
And then the thing is, your friends and your family members, they can notice. They see these different habits and different things that are happening in your life.
And when you got that one friend or that one auntie that think they finna speak up and be bold to him, they forget you gotta go home with the thing.
Yeah,
I mean, like for real.
It's a delicate situation. I agree. Yeah, it's a delicate situation. Because look, I'm telling you, I had two sisters, and I used to go to war. And the next thing they back together, so I always looked at it, okay, well, I can't protect what doesn't want to be protected. And even if they wanted better, to me, or anybody, not just them, you had to get up out of that situation. If you're going to continue to dwell in it, then you're going to, what do they say? You get what you give. So if you keep on going back and back and back, then you know what you're going to get. Ain't nothing changed. Yeah. Okay. Now, We can ask these questions to determine if fear exists in a relationship. Can both partners disagree without fear of retaliation? If both partners cannot disagree without the fear of retaliation, then we know fear exists in that relationship. Can both partners say no without punishment? If you have a different opinion, is there punishment because you just don't agree? Now, how cowardly is that? You're going to punish somebody just because they don't agree with your opinion. That's weak. That's soft. But that's just my opinion. Can both partners be honest about mistakes without excessive anxiety? Like you just said, your heart, your heart was about to
I'm
jump
serious.
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. And also, do both partners feel emotionally safe? And that's what most women want in a relationship. They want to feel emotionally safe when they express their needs. Now, here's my belief. God created Eve from the rib of Adam. When he created them, he gave her 90% of his emotional content. That's why when you have a relationship with a woman, they often express themselves by saying, you know how I feel? Or do you know how I feel? Or you don't understand. When you hear those things, those are emotional. Men, they are more creative. This is my belief. Don't take this for gospel, but it might help you if you start using this kind of logic. Men are problem solvers. They more so use logic in their reasoning. They only got 10% left of their emotions. Now, don't go look this up or Google it. That's just my interpretation of where I see things and how it's reflected in relationships that I've had. They have more emotions and we have more logic, and we want to solve problems. Women, they want you to hear them out. If you listen, you one up on everybody else. If you listen and you're listening with the intent to understand, you like an angel just fell from heaven.
As I said today, if you follow me now, even on TikTok and YouTube, a lot of people can hear you, but a lot of people don't listen, and people don't understand the difference in that, and I that's what I'm saying. Like I just am at a space in my life now where if you just gotta hear me just to say, okay, I paid attention to you or whatever, then just go on. Let's just sever our ties. If you can't listen to me and you can't listen to me to understand what I'm going through or what I'm saying, then we can talk. But past that, like, just go on, let me go. Go on, let me go if it can't be that way.
Let me loose.
Let me loose me. Loose me. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, loose me.
So for any of those equations I just gave, if any of the answers to that is no, then fear is influencing that relationship. Healthy relationships are built on trust, respect, communications, and emotional safety, not fear. It's built on trust, respect, communication, and emotional safety. I've just got through speaking on that. And I believe women, and not only women, since I don't want to be too genderly biased, anyone who takes on that role of being the individual who, what word am I looking for, DeJoya? who is not the hard one in there, the one who has more emotions. Okay. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hey, ABC, glad to see you back again. Thank you for joining us. V Dates, how are you? Meyer, how are you? Okay. So we have to remember that healthy relationships are built on trust. They're built on respect, communication, and emotional safety. If one partner fears the other, they are avoiding difficult conversations that they need to have. They're walking on eggshells because they are afraid. That's what fear does. They hide their feelings and their opinions. Also, there is a loss of trust and intimacy. A loss of trust and intimacy. Now, a lot of people think, okay, well, I can get it anytime I want. That don't mean that they're there. That don't mean that they're committed to being loving in that moment. Just remember that. Now, that being said, there's a difference between, I understand this part, there's a difference between fearing your partner and fearing hurting your partner. There's a difference between fearing your partner and fearing hurting your partner. In a healthy relationship, you may be careful with your words. You may be careful with your words, which I am, because you don't want to cause pain. That's a different kind of fear. That's empathy. That's really not fear, but it's a form of it. If your partner agrees with you because they respect you, that's influence. If you agree because you respect your partner, then that is influence. If they agree with you because they fear you, what do we call that? We call that control. If they if they agree with you because they fear you, that's control. That's the difference in fear in a relationship. Now, which do you prefer? I would prefer to be that individual that they love the fact that I'm there emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of those things, because that's part of your commitment and your obligation when you get into a relationship.
And I think the word you was looking for were a little bit more vulnerable or a little bit more sensitive.
Right.
But I think, when it comes to men, admitting this kind of thing, I think men are like afraid to admit it because it might attack their masculinity.
But that's how they've been taught. That's how they've been raised.
Yeah. And also, when you have somebody that's doing these kind of things to people, I look at it like I had to learn that person was damaged. You know what I mean? That person was damaged. And that's why I don't hold any grudges against them. And, we're actually, very good now with the children and grandchildren, and we co-parent very well and whatever. But I had to learn that person was damaged. That person was damaged physically, mentally, and things like that. Literally, for real. They were damaged. And the more you accept that, and the more you learn that, and even though I didn't learn that till I went through it, and yeah, I'm hurt still, and I'm just damaged for the rest of my life and broken. But in order for me to,
necessarily may not be damaged for the rest of it.
When I say damage because as I said, there's things that come up, and you think about it, So I mean, that's still the damage that's done. But I'm not to the point where I just break all that where I was mentally some years back. You know what I mean? That I know where everything's are. I know where things are. I know where things fit now. But you have to understand though.
I tell people this all the time. you can't control what happened to you in the past,
No,
but
you
you can
can't.
control. You can somewhat control the
What
direction
happened
of
to
the
you right now?
path that you create
Yeah,
for yourself.
but that's
Because
what I'm saying. Yeah,
a lot of
I
times,
get that.
yeah, and a lot of times you have to have some assistance. You have to have people who really believe in you and want the best for you. Because there are a
True.
lot of times when people trying to fight these struggles on their own. But if you, as you said, if that's all you know,
Hmm.
how are you going to learn anything different? You
Man,
understand? You just
when
going to
I got a
repeat.
chance to go, I broke out of there running like Miss Silly was running through that field, and that her sister was looking to save Mister because she had got that race. That's how fast I run up out of there. I'm saying, and mentally too. I'm just saying, boy, don't let the limp fool you, cause baby, them I forgot all about that. When it was time to go, it was time to go. But that's why I say you have to know, and you're only gonna be able to lead when you get the courage. It'll be somebody to give you the courage.
Right.
And you know what? You have to want to be away from those things. There's some people they don't want to be out of the damage. They don't want you to do damage control. They don't want you to help them. They don't want you to save them. And not only that, do you have to have somebody to save you? You have to want to be saved, and you have to be able to forgive the person. You have to be able to forgive. Forgiveness is not
That's the
wasn't
first
for
thing.
me. It
That's the
wasn't for
first thing.
me to say I healed and go on. It was for them. It was for me to be able to forgive them and go on and know that I didn't need to and don't blame myself. But a lot of people think, oh well, I forgave you because God said so. Yeah, you need to forgive them so you can move on and have a better life and allow them that part of you to move on too. So I wasn't saying that I'm damaged like now. I'm talking to Sugar. I'm gonna hold my head or cover myself like he gonna hit me or hurt me or something. What I'm saying is that there's times that you think about, and you know what? The person that you found that loves you, that saves you, they'll snap you out of that. It may not be as soft as you want, because whatever, but they'll have a way to snap you out of that. So that's why I say you have to get things in the proper perspective in your life, and you have to want to change. You have to want something different, and all that stuff. So I just feel like people don't realize that, and they always say, "Oh, well, don't nobody know what I'm going through. Don't nobody know." Well, first of all, ain't nobody gonna know what you're going through in your house or whatever. But if you share it with someone, first of all, you can't share everything with everybody. And secondly, when you do share it with someone, you have to be ready for what they're gonna say. So be mindful of who you share things with, and know that everything ain't worth sharing with everybody. You got to learn. You got to have discernment. Is my old past grand word, make God bless her in the great beyond, Priscilla Buchanan used to say. So you have to get those things and develop those skills and those concepts. You know what I mean? So that's just what I feel about that.
All right. Well said. Hey, Jay, how are you? All right. Hey, user, how are you? Hey, Keith, I'm getting ready to close out. I mean, Miss O'Neill done took us up through there. So,
You know what? Y'all gonna let, you know what? Here you go with this shamalam ding dong stuff again.
I'm just saying, if you got any comments you want to add, go ahead, Keith. If not, I'll go ahead and close it out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out then. All right, in conclusion, a healthy relationship doesn't require fear to maintain order or commitment. A healthy relationship does not require fear at all. Respect inspires cooperation because it is freely given. Respect inspires cooperation because it is freely given. Fear may produce compliance. Yeah, they may do what you say, but it often comes at the cost of trust, honesty, and genuine connections. So it's easy to have someone fear you and do what you say, but you are sacrificing all the trust and the love and honesty and them being genuine with you. So keep that in mind if you're ruling with control and fear. A relationship when both partners feel safe enough, it flourishes because they speak openly, and they are strong enough to be themselves. If you can't be yourself in a relationship, get out of it. Ain't nothing gonna change. Don't wait for change, and don't repeat the same things and expect a different outcome. A relationship will flourish when both partners feel safe enough to speak openly and strong enough to be themselves. All right. We thank all of you for joining us. Hey, look, I knew this was going to be exciting. Again, check out We Talk from last week if you missed it, when we talk about love, whether or not it's a choice or whether or not it's a feeling. So we hope that you enjoyed it. We're here to make your day better. We're here to give you information so that your life can be enhanced. So until next time, which is next Wednesday, Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, au revoir, and goodbye. And we'll see you all next Wednesday.
Bye,
Take
y'all.
care.